Hello, Gurpreet. Good morning.
Good morning, Josh.
Can
Good
you see me
morning.
okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, very good. Hello. Um, yeah, I just had a couple of questions about, things have changed so much and they're shifting so much and your approach and our openings. And I thought I would share a few things that I'm experiencing personally in the hopes that other people would be able to relate to it. And maybe in an open conversation, you can give us some answers that'll help all of us move a little more smoothly to where you're taking us.
Yeah.
Um, so, in no particular order, the first thing I wanted to just share was something that I myself saw in me. Um, it may have been last Wednesday, I can't quite remember, but it was one of the days where you were sort of inviting us into being nobody, which a lot of us find really meaningful. And
Mm-hmm.
I find really meaningful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm able to feel myself. I almost feel like I'm this container, this aura, and sometimes I'm able to sort of feel myself move outside the boundary of that aura into a more impersonalness, and it's beautiful and interesting. And this one particular day, it also showed me something, which is sort of like that. On one level, it's I don't want to say it's impossible, but it feels very impossible to get away from the I,
Mm.
the personal I.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the sense that there's nothing beautiful that the eye doesn't appreciate. Even the true beauty, even the true oneness. I feel like the eye can be like, oh, I'll take that too. So I sort of wrote something down, just a little paragraph of my thoughts about what I experienced in that moment when I realized that even opening, even beyond this, like whatever it is, the eye appreciates it, likes it.
Okay.
So here's what I wrote. It's short.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so everything is I want. Even the beyondness is hijacked by the ego. Feeling our centers finally flowing brings so much groundedness and peace and relief from the never ending torture of the person. Our heart loves that. But the ego also loves that groundedness, peace, and relief. There's always some sort of gaining, even in the losing. Ego is always there to trick us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just that's what I wrote after I felt that I can't. It's almost like you can't escape, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
just thought maybe we could start by me sharing that with you and you telling me what your sense is of that.
Yeah. It's like what you are saying is nothing new.
Mhm.
It's like it's just written in Vedas, in very ancient old philosophies, and that this path is a hard, and the hard meaning is like this ego or this personalness tricks us again and again, right? It's not everybody just love the higher, everybody, because there's so much freedom, so much joyfulness in it, heartfulness in it. It's just that the true love everybody's looking for is in it, right? So, but at the same time, the other part is also is kind of huge. It's not bigger than a higher, but it's a density. Is kind of a, you call it ego's ownership kind of thing. It's also kind of well lived, and it's a quite a powerful. Yeah. And it's always like, even in Gurbani says, very rare people will move through it, right? And I know Jesus said the same thing, similar way, different, right? It's like in Hinduism says the same thing, and It's just like many people, they started to walk, and then and many constantly keep on dropping, right? Because they cannot take whatever they want to take with this, in this, right? So now the way you are describing is very meaningful to maybe people need to hear this, that this ego part is like it doesn't want to give up, right?
Yeah. And it likes where we're going in a way. That's the tricky part that I saw. It's
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
oh, impersonalness, I'll take that too. Sounds tasty. And it's like,
yeah,
how, what?
yeah, yeah. But slowly, it's like that part is like it's coming or becoming more and more into person's awareness.
Okay.
If the person never choose to give up in its journey, right? It's like you saw that throughout your journey many times. You want to give up. Yeah. Even many people, they are just one way or the another. It's just like that's it. It's just like, or this is not the way, or something like that. It's like it just cannot move through because ego doesn't let you. But now you're saying it, the ego, even in a subtle levels, the ego is just like a continue walk with you.
Yes, I really saw that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And in a way, it's a good thing. It's a walking with you. As I said, maybe 10, 15 years ago, same thing. What I'm saying now to you.
Mhm.
It's because it's just keeping you in this alertness,
Mm.
in this awakefulness. Right? It's like that's why we always call the person itself is helping us to move through it.
Mm.
Right? It
That's
just
right.
kind of it's like I used to use the word it's testing us,
Mm.
right? Because you just see that like we have to become finer and finer and finer because we are unable to take anything at the higher level, anything what is personal.
And so if we really want to live there, we just have to forever just finer, finer, finer.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because it almost feels like this symbiotic or parasitic relationship. Like I almost have this vision of like a pregnant woman,
Mm-hmm.
but the embryo, the fetus, is like, you know how like whatever the mother eats, of course, the nutrition goes to the fetus, of course. So like it's like we're the mother and the ego is the fetus. Like it's gonna eat whatever we eat, even if it's the highest form of awakened food. It's like it'll adapt. Sort of, it's insidious and it's adaptation. It's yeah, I'm just saying it my own way, but just that's my way of looking at it. It follows us everywhere. It's like so attached to us. It's like it nourishes itself with what we nourish ourselves with, no matter what that is. It can
Yeah,
digest anything. It's so it's kind of amazing how it can do that. It's sort of like I'm sort of impressed in a strange way with its ability to be flexible.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of amazing. It's, oh, you want to wake up?
Mm-hmm.
You want to meditate for 20 hours a day? I'll eat that too. You want to study with Gurpreet? I'll eat that too. It's like amazing. It just won't die.
Yeah, but it's just the same time. It's opening your eyes in that area.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's like a from a different angle, I would say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and we need to look ourselves from a very different angle, because we are complex, right? We talked about it. Our system is a complex. We cannot just look one way. This is what I did. I was looking just from one side, right? Even in that side, I thought I included all of my personalness and everything, every way, right? But it's not enough. We are living in this complex system, and more our mind is opening. Yes, I am that too, that too, that too. It's just the mind is opening up now.
so it's not just your personalness you need to open up to and design. It's like everything outside you. So
Yes,
it
yes,
never ends.
yeah. Because what is outside of you is in a way is inside of you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because before, the individuality was saying me, I, right? And more, many of these I's are dissolving. And then, because I only dissolve when including something, right?
Mhm.
You including this I's world in, which was before was outside of you, right?
Mhm.
So then slowly, it's like what is dissolving is it's within you. So then more is just dissolving. Your capacity, your ability to be in the more is increasing itself. You remember last time or time before you said, I see it's like the nature is in me, something like that you
Oh,
said.
yeah, I
It's
did.
like, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like this is how, because you integrated that nature in you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
in a flash, you saw that, wow, before I was seeing outside of me, now I see it's inside of me.
Okay.
This is what you have earned.
Yeah.
And continue earning, because mind doesn't understand all this.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's forgetful. And so we continue integrating, including whatever we see is outside of us.
And and maybe I'm going too far in saying this. If so, please correct me. But not only that, but I feel like it also spoils the meal. Like, in other words, okay, let's just say the nature's in me. And the mind could come in. I'm not saying this happened, but the mind could come in and say, yes, nature's in me. I am nature. Look at me. I'm there. And all that claiming and owning stuff. And then all of a sudden, the nature was everything, the meal was ruined, sort of thing.
It's just like it's like you don't judge your ego that much, for example, first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So less you judging your ego, easily it can be seen.
Mhm.
You don't like exaggerate your ego,
Mhm.
right? It's not being ruined. It's just now you are just learning to become humble than before, right? Yeah. And in a way, the way you are very fine way, you are very careful about your ego. It's a good thing too. But the other way, you also need to not to exaggerate your, it's just like,
Mhm.
it's okay. It's okay. It's like it's a part of you walking with you.
Yeah. I'm realizing this entire question is coming from just like me wanting to I'm like when you hold the kitten in your hands and the kitten doesn't want to be held and pushes the paws against your chin like I'm pushing the ego away. Like I'm like, no, I don't like you. Like I'm rejecting the ego. I can see
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. So just see this even in this moment, what we are talking about. If anything is outside of you, we always think it's a bigger than me.
Wow. It's powerful what you just said. Wow.
So the moment the ego is outside of you, it's bigger than you. And the moment now you said, okay, I need to embrace it,
Yes.
right? And now it's coming inside of you.
And it's not as scary, of course.
Yeah, it's like anything comes inside of you. It's like it means true acceptance, true harmony you have earned, right? Because just remember we were just using as an example of neighbors outside of me. It's noisy. The neighbor come inside of me. It's lovely. Peace. You don't even think of the neighbor anymore. Right? Yeah.
And it's interesting to think of doing that with your own ego, because your ego is kind of inside of you, but when you're pushing it away, it's really not inside you. You're pushing it out into your mind, into some part of your body, just to get away from you, really.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And really beautiful answer. Thank you. I just want to go back a couple of minutes because I opened up in something that was sort of like a wow moment for me, but I just didn't want to interrupt you. Let me just get it back. It's a little embarrassing to share because you've been yelling it to us every day since I've met you, but it just kind of went, whoa. This whole idea that you can really, one can look at the entire world as if everything is just me, which is what you've been trying to get. Like, I know it sounds really stupid, but it just really entered me like a friend betrays me. Okay. Friend betrays me. That's me hurting myself. And it's like, like, how many, we don't live that way. I don't live that way. It's like that Ralph betrayed me. He flirted with my wife. I'll never trust him again, whatever it is. And then we come to you and you help us calm down and integrate it. But to be able to really see that as like, oh, that's an aspect of me hurting another aspect of me, and just get away from the finger pointing and just bring it in. It's so foreign to our existence, but it just really came in me strong. Like that's the right direction, actually, that we're trying to, like, wow, that the possibility of being that way, just a hint of a possibility is mind blowing. It's like almost exciting to me, but it's so foreign. I don't do that. No way. But I see it. I'm like, my God, that's so empowering. You almost wish something happens to you that feels bad, so you can just incorporate.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I really understand what you're talking about. Because what you're talking about is something beautiful, meaningful has happened inside of you. Which was outside of you before and big. It's like most of the lifetimes is being taken by those kind of issues.
Yeah, that's most of our, this happened, annoying.
Yeah. If you're sensitive, you are struggling with the issues. If you're insensitive, you created the wall with the issues or with the people, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
So both ways, it's like if the person can open up, and then the outside, that what I was thinking other is me, right? And the moment and I see it's me, and the moment it dissolves, this me dissolves, this I dissolves in the form of I'm being betrayed, or my friend, and all that.
I'm just so inspired in this moment. Like, I almost want to cry. Like, I can't think of anything that anybody has ever done to me that I haven't also done to myself.
Yeah.
So what am I even getting mad at?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we are talking about that we are living in a very complex system, means we are interconnected.
Mhm.
You know how we talk about, we cannot separate anything.
Mhm.
We cannot separate, it's just like we cannot separate the sun from the earth, for example. This is one example, but there's millions and millions of connections we have with this earth, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's the same thing as with us. We cannot separate one part of this earth. This universe is what is made of. We cannot take the sun away from the earth. It's not going to live. Same way we are. We are interconnected with everything.
And everyone.
Yeah. So unconsciously, we are one, like in a subconscious level, we call it. Right? But when we're waking up and then we started to cry, like, why I am like this, because waking up is never pleasant. And I saw that year after year after year after year, many people, they've been crying and crying and crying. I don't like this. I don't like this me.
Mhm.
Yeah. But in a way, this waking up is so meaningful. It helps you to let the outer world to dissolve back within, and in order to be in a higher harmony.
Yeah, it just seems like even if these people do these things and they hurt or they're mean or gosh, whatever, it's like if I look if it can be seen as I'm doing it to myself and really open up honestly to the fact that I have done that to myself actually when I'm so angry. So like it seems like what I think of as I can become so expanded. It's just like I's just become just so vast. We always talk about the vastness, but it just seems
Mm-hmm.
the word vast is coming, which is
Yeah.
a weird place to get to from somebody betraying you, but it's actually it's valid. It can be that way. It can be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything can be. It's like how much our loss hurts us,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, how much that loss can move us. It changes us. It can transform us. But we don't like the loss, though. So then if that loss can really move me, transforms me, and then that loss, now I see that it has nurtured me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this growing, this moving toward the higher levels is endless, endless.
Yeah, it's almost like just to take it back where we started. It's like the ego is capable of whatever fineness we are capable of. So it's just always may as well make friends with it because it's just always going to be there. And actually, I see that it's the way you're explaining it. I see better now that it's actually there to help us, to keep us alert.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because if we have nothing to open into or no reason to open, like if everything was fine, why should we try? Why should we work? Why should we put any effort forth at all? So it's kind of good that there's always this little rock in our shoe kind of thing. The rock's becoming smaller, but
Yes, yes,
still
yes,
there.
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. But at the same time, like even for example, you're talking about one angle of the ego. I like to enjoy this. I like to, take over something like that.
Mhm.
But it's like the ego, we call it ego, but it comes in so many different ways. It has so many different uniforms, you could call it. Yeah.
Right.
So each time it appears so different ways.
Yeah. I mean, I just noticed recently I was helping a few friends with some pain they were going through, and I really it was actually good in a way because I saw how your guidance over the past year or two has deepened me, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to sort of guide them
Mm-hmm.
more deeply. Like I remember I was talking to one friend, and I just was going to start this whole conversation. I said, just go into your heart for a minute. And then he very soon he was like, you know what? I'm in a different place. I don't know what you said to me, but I'm just gonna go be quiet and I think I'm good. And I was like, that was cool. So I saw on the one hand how much your teaching has made me more able to help people in a way I don't even understand. And
Yeah.
at the same time, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ah,
It's
there's
it's just like this is how you earn.
um,
You cannot close the door that, okay, you know what? It's gonna create the ego in me. It's going to create the ego in me.
yeah,
If I just even, for example, I told the friend to just go back into your heart,
right.
right?
Mhm.
It's okay. You learn, you move that way. So then you can see your bigger picture of your own ego as well.
Right. It's not like a bad thing. It's just
Yeah, yeah,
it's almost like that's the way it's going to go. Don't worry about it, but stay open and learn.
yeah. Because it always depends on your own heart longing, where you want to stop. Do you want to stay in this endless way? Of course, ego is going to pop up so many different ways, but you cannot stay in the closed doors. In a way, it's not even in your hand. It's like more you're moving, it's like nothing is in your hand. You can see that it's not in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in a
Sometimes.
bigger picture, we we seeing it again and again that is just it's play, right? And slowly we see the things are happening. It's just happening. Happening means it's not in my hand. I cannot change anything with my own hand, right? So if I am so open in these happenings, it's like I am in the happening, I am in that flow of happening. Yeah. In the happenings, person always in such a humble state. It's like, for example, ego cannot be in the happenings because ego own self says, yeah, I am the one. I am the boss. I am the one doing. I am the one can change. I want what I want. I create my future, right? This is ego's world. This is where we are living, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ego tries. Ego says, I love this flow. This is I've earned this flow. Like it can try, but it can't really be in the flow the way that our heart can.
Yeah. The moment that the thought comes, it's just like a person gets distracted,
Mhm.
oh, If the person is sensitive to the ego, then says, oh, okay, then, oh, see, this ego thought came again, right? If the person is insensitive, the person is going to become one with the ego, instant way.
Yeah, it's like the difference between, and I'm just seeing now at a deeper, more subtle level, the disliking of the ego, at least from my side, it's like the difference between, like if I'm in that flow and that thought comes in, you could sort of recognize it as an ego thought and sort of say, oh no, the water is dirty now, and judge it. Or you could say, there's the ego, let me open and include it. I didn't expect it to go anyway. I'm not surprised that it's here. I'm not upset that it's here, but that's not the truth. So let me just bring it in.
Yeah. Then just as is, you just let yourself be in that, even the little dirty water for a while. Because more you staying present in, because you only can be present very honest way, right? And the more honest you are, you're present in that state of where there is a little dirty water with this ego, right? More you stay in it, and it just itself is your own presence. It's just purifying it, because you don't want to participate in the ego, right? You're present, so you're just making sure that I don't just go with it, or I don't reject it. I'm there. I'm just being as is. Because nothing is like a permanent in our states. Even one day we can be an extreme flow, blissful state, right? And the next day we can be completely an opposite state. Yeah. And it's a part of the growth. When we're trying to maintain in just one state, it makes us so narrow. Right? Because I want that. I just want to be in that blissful state, for example. Because if the person is so cornered own self in that state, person can stay in there. There's a possibility person can maintain that state. But at the same time, you just see that how much is being avoided, right? So that's why many of us wants to just maintain one state. Of course, when there is a love, when there is a joyfulness, we all just love it. We all just don't want to change it forever. But I saw that in myself. It's like even blissful state or joyful state or very love state. It's like then if you stay for a couple days or a month or so, and then it's not that kind of a joyful or you want to stay in that forever. It's not like that, because after a while you just, because there was no newness in it, right?
We get used to things.
Yeah. So I felt like then you begin to feel kind of bored in that state. Yeah, because there's no newness. Nothing has entered. You didn't let anything else to enter in it, because you just prefer to be in that state. So there was so much is available to us, which we need to be open. Open means, and now when you open to something more, and you're gonna feel lost, again. It's like you're going to feel like, okay, you know what? I was in such a beautiful state, but now I just lost it. But in this lostness, there is a possibility to be in the more.
Yeah, I was going to say the word that came to me is when you're truly lost. That's when, if you have the courage to trust, it's so meaningful, so much more meaningful.
Exactly.
Like it's easy
Yes.
to trust when somebody's feeding you grapes, but like when you're like dark and cold, and you can trust in that, that's like really beautiful.
Yeah. 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 Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. That is the moment. That is the real moment. It's like, you know how I say, it's testing us. That is the moment of you can just trust, give permission. That's just a real moment. We need that love and joyfulness and all that again and again. We need something positive in our life, right?
Mm.
But also we need the other part that is helping us to grow. I was actually talking to Mark and I said, you know, in the beginning, and I felt like I was so naive in so many different ways. And he said, yeah, it's like I saw that, like one way you were so this, the other way you were so kind of naive, new in this world. It's like you never tasted, never been in this kind of world. And I said, that's so true. I never knew about this world.
Mm.
I never knew. I was just more like a housewife. You
Yeah.
just know your world. You know how to take care of your kids and pay the bills and all that.
Mm.
And when you're really being thrown into the world, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, then one moment and I said, yeah, I was very much naive that time. But at the same time, we were talking and then I saw that, yes, but yes, that also helped me to grow because I needed to experience all this. I needed to experience different personalities, different this world, what is happening in the world.
Yeah, I feel like naive is sort of like also innocent, and your innocence helped you grow and wake up. So it's like it's all good.
All good, all good, all good. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Beautiful explanations. As you're talking, it's just coming to me how much more room we could make in our lives for just discomfort and things not going our way. Like we contract so quickly when things don't go well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
instead of what you're
yeah,
sharing right now is sort of this invitation to say, oh man, I don't feel good today. Here's an opportunity, or
yeah,
something happened to me that I didn't want. Here's an opportunity.
yeah,
And really
yeah,
turn your face right inside immediately. It's yeah, it's a beautiful invitation.
yeah. I moved through the hardest times
Mm.
throughout all the years I'm with my students. But yes, each time it's like I am in moving through something. It's like I'm so awake in that state,
Mm.
so able to see more parts of me in that state.
Yeah. Mhm.
And many states have helped me to just experience what I normally wouldn't even experience, right? Because the extreme of the pain or the hurt or the pain or whatever there was, it's like a disappointment. It's like the bigger the opening I experienced. throughout.
That's
Yeah.
it's powerful. Because
It's
our
like
first
this.
instinct is to run from that, right? I think we don't want that, you know. Like even
Yeah.
what you just said is just like so simple, but like I hear it and I
Mhm.
hear my mind going, "Ugh, but I don't want that." Like it's really the split, of course, is there, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
see the truth of what you mean. I think we've all tasted what you mean, even in our lives.
Yes, that we always tasting it, but at the same time, we just not open to it. It's like because we again and again, because it just reminds us our negativities. We are living in a negativity. You know, it just kind of grabs us. But if the way I see now, even this moment, my those moment experiences, the hardship experiences, the way it moved me, it was just so meaningful, so meaningful.
Mm.
And I knew that like I had to get out to grow. But I had no idea what I am giving permission to though.
Right.
Yeah.
Just know you're giving permission.
Yeah. I had no idea. And this is how just what I was sharing with you previously, the shift, the way I felt like something shifted in me,
Mhm.
or I even asked to shift. And in that moment, and I give permission to myself to be in the more, or I just want to grow, right?
Mhm.
It was just like a just sincere way, like I just want to grow now from here. And again, I have no clue what this means. What is going to bring me? But only thing I know, I need to move from the state I am in.
Mhm.
Right? So that in that sense, there's always a newness. But this time, I was so open to this newness. And at the same time, I'm acknowledging the newness so fast.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I like how you keep it super, super simple. It's not like you're not saying, I know what I need. I know what it's going to be like when I open. I know what the need is. You're just saying, I just want to move.
Yeah. Just see that. That's a very good point, what you just said. When I think I know what is the next in me, is old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? When I don't know, I'm open to more than this, what I have lived in. Right? And we call it unknown. And this unknown, in the moment to moment, it can be for some people very scary, right?
Yes.
But more your heart opens, your heart has a pull to the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can feel it just subtly right now, even in my heart. It's like there's this yearning. I'm going to use the word embrace, this yearning to embrace. And the act of embracing means something new. It's
Mhm.
like it's already embracing what it's embracing, but it just wants to hug. It's like you're at a party and another person comes in and you want to hug them. Oh, hey, you're at the party. Like you always want to hug the new person, the new. So it's always just the heart is made, born to
Yeah,
include and
yeah,
include. You can't include if there's nothing new.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because in the beginning, there is always a resistance to the person. For example, you're talking about your friend betrayed you, right? It hurted you. And then it's like if somebody hurt us and then it becomes our enemy in a way. Maybe I'm using a little bigger word, but this is how it is to the mind. It means it's like it's just keeping the distance because I don't want to get hurt again, right? Because again and again, I don't want to get hurt again. And we just keeping that person outside. And now you see that how many ways, how many personalities we are keeping outside of us. Because we think that person is our enemy. I can't accept that person. That person is completely in a nonsense. I can't accept it, right? But the moment I can accept that person, doesn't matter how hard it is, and that person is inside of you already. And if the person comes inside of you, it's like you actually able to understand. It's like, the mind or the brain cell, something opened up inside of it. And completely able to understand that person's state of beingness. And that means already you understanding that person's innocence.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's very sweet.
Only when it comes inside of you. When it's outside of you, your just mind is rolling, the world is rolling around that person, saying, oh, that's insane. That person is absolutely devil or something. Yeah. But when you bring that person in, when you relate that person's innocence, it really humbles you. That moment you are in a person's feet.
Yeah. As you're talking, I'm tasting a little bit of that now, and I feel myself going deeper inside myself. Yeah. And I feel a slight humbleness and smallness. And I'm waking up to how much bigness I have when I don't do that. When I'm like, you hurt me, you offended me, you're judging me, how dare you? It's like the I is just like this giant statue of me. And what you're talking about is really just, I don't even want to talk about words like forgiveness because it's so surfacey and superficial.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's literally like, I am that.
This way, I have actually embraced something. Otherwise, mental way, you just embrace 100 times. It doesn't really change you. You become actually bigger. Oh yeah, I accepted you. I embraced you. Fine.
It's
now
like
I'm
this,
more bigger.
Yeah. I forgave you. Look at how magnanimous I am. Yeah, right.
Yeah. The forgiveness means totally different.
Yeah.
Something happened inside of you. It humbled you, which you never ever actually tasted before. Right? The smallness, it's a newness. It's like, you just want to be on everybody's feet afterwards.
Yeah, I'm feeling people in my past just like kind of coming in as you're talking, or situations bothering me now that are just coming in. It's just like,
yeah.
So much bigness when you're not that way.
Yeah, because we are coming from the resistance.
Yes.
Resistance is just like a protection, resistance, survival mode, right? This is where we all coming from. And now when we are embracing something within, it's like we're breaking all our inner rules.
Yes. Protection rule, the fighting rule,
Yeah.
the winning rule, gotta win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest rules for a lot of us, I know for me, is like, I am valuable, I matter, I'm not bad, I'm good, I'm lovable, I'm okay. Playing the ultimate game of hide and seek. How dare you tell me I'm bad? When the truth is, I think I'm bad, but I'm not being honest. So I'm getting mad at you because I'm really mad at me. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. 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 This is kind of a individuality, like, I need to be loved, is just torturing the person itself. From the childhood, it started to torture. It's like, I'm being loved by my parents. It humbles you. I'm being loved by my siblings. It really humbles the person. I'm being loved by classmates, my teachers. It really humbles the person.
Yeah, in a kind of a way, when you let the other in the way that you're inviting us to, if you go back to what I said a while ago about sort of like seeing everything as one, seeing everybody as an aspect of me, like when you let that person in, you are being loved. You're loving yourself in that moment. Yeah, that is the real self-love, is when you let that enemy come in truly, truly, truly to then kiss its feet or however you say. It's like
Mhm.
that is the real self-love, because you're integrating in love, in
Yeah,
smallness.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just see that, like how this child is being tortured by this I, constantly crying, my mother doesn't love me. And this individuality, it just stays with this child with the rest of the life, right? This person can become 90 years old, but this cry is inside. Person ready to shed the body and never woke up in this I, right? There's never question to this I that who's inside of me. It's like saying it. I need to be loved. I need to be loved. I need to be loved.
And how that need is creating the other in illusion,
Yeah,
and then pushing the love away.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's really touching me in this moment how, gosh, how different this is than anything I've ever sort of like learned, and how precious this is, and how
Mm-hmm.
grateful I feel, and we all feel, to be lucky
Yeah,
enough to study with you and to get this guidance. It
yeah,
makes so much sense. What you're saying makes so much
yeah.
sense, but yet it's revolutionary all at the same time.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like I just remember one person. He said he just born with this fighting mode.
Mhm.
He said, as far as I remember, childhood, very early age, he was like a fighting. This the same thing. His issue was different. I, right?
Mhm.
It's this individuality, like a fighting against the whole world.
Mhm.
I don't like this. I don't want to be here. I don't like it. I
Mhm.
don't want to. Why I am here in this world,
Mhm.
right? And when I was guiding to that person, and I said, you know what? If you die tomorrow and then you reborn, you're gonna reborn in the same rut what you are in now. because you never gave up. From the childhood, that person was in 40, 50 years old already and in the same rut. And you think it's going to change? You see how the future is predictable in this way?
Yes.
So this person at the same time is becomes so stubborn in that. Because this I constantly rolling in this me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes so stubborn. Doesn't want to give up, doesn't want to give up its own misery. Doesn't want to give up this idea, belief, doesn't want to give up this I.
Yeah, and it just doesn't. I was just talking to, I don't know if it was Jan or somebody just yesterday. It was just like, you just don't want to be wrong. You said something for 30 years, you've said something, whether it's, Christians are bad, Jews are bad, Muslims are bad, women are terrible, men are terrible, Republicans, Democrats, whatever your opinion is. Just to be proven wrong is so embarrassing. Even if it's like, life sucks, life is terrible, life is nothing but misery. Even to have that proven wrong, even if it'll make you happier to prove it wrong, you still have to sort of go, oh, I was wrong. Life isn't misery. My mistake. Sorry. And the ego just doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter how much it's believing in something horrible for itself, it would rather be right and suffer than wrong and shine.
Yeah. So just see that slowly. This is the kind of world we have been living in, and this is the world we're going to live in. Right? And that's what I'm calling it. It's this future is predictable. It's based on today.
Yes.
Right? So yes, of course, it's 100 times, 1,000 times as embarrassing to admit something, to admit its own my own flaws.
Yeah.
But you see that at the same time, that's the only thing is worth living for.
Wow. It's like, dear God, show me, may I be so wrong a million times, because then there's a million ways I can improve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I've never prayed for that. Wow.
Because we don't know that we are doing it. We don't know that. That's the part of it in a more an unconscious level. But the moment then you can begin to see that, oh, okay, you know what? I'm not admitting because I don't like to feel the embarrassment. You stay there, you choose to stay there. Don't go anywhere. Slowly, you gonna choose to lose your power. Because you are half awake, half asleep, right? Yeah. Because you're going to choose the higher. Even though you were tripped into this old again and again and again, even in a half sleep and half awake state. But yes, because there are many parts in you still helpless, because half asleep. And but slowly you're going to choose the higher, because this is what we are longing for. So the first is like you have to let yourself be embarrassed. Totally let yourself be embarrassed. You don't know any higher, but you know it's true for me to admit, yes,
I was incorrect. in what I said. I'm just saying yes to say I was incorrect in what I said.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
yeah.
And just letting those words even hit me, just like
Mm-hmm,
I was wrong, I was incorrect.
mm-hmm,
Inviting that energy, that texture into my system to just like welcome it, make friends with it. Because I do want to make friends with it. I think we all do. We've all had moments where we've been able to admit it and felt the joyful humility just raining down, the forgiveness just raining down on us once we were able to really say, yeah, I made a mistake. Sorry.
I told you, I'm sharing with you what we were talking about last night. To me, it was like a beautiful conversation we had. I openly saw my naiveness, openly.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And even good, like the way we can communicate, like, yes, it's like a Mark is like there to show me or support me. Yes. So we don't have to pretend anything like a different, no, you were very good or this and that. Yeah. So it's just, to me, it's so meaningful. It's like that opening me much more than ever before. Yeah. But we think, okay, once we are awake and we are in a right person, I will be the right person.
Yeah, the meal is cooked. The meal is cooked. It's all, it's done now.
No. I knew that then. I knew that. But yes, there was it's not I wasn't awakened. I was beautifully was in that awakeful state. Beautiful, humble knowledge, humble openness to whatever was ready for me. I stepped into it. Yeah. But you always also step into it it's like, even if I just remember my life at this moment, whenever I step into something is always in the moment, and to everybody else, it looks like a naiveness again. She doesn't think, she's just jumping. I saw that. But in a way, this is also part of this, to be in the more. Yeah.
It's your trust also, right? Of course.
Yes. It's like you don't question. Because question means, is it right for me? Should I do this or should not I? Is it like, it can be harmful, or it can destroy me or whatever, right? It's like if there was no question, you just move. You learn after.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can't learn before.
Yeah. Because otherwise the wiseness is moving. Yeah, because the wiseness is like, okay, I'm mature. I know this is the right way to do that. And that tricks us.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah. I don't think I ever will look like I'm very wise person.
No, you look pretty wise to us, but we're
Yeah, I know
I know
one
what you
person.
mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. One person, it's like she told me, she said, for you, what your knowledge is so simple. And that's what I told the person. I said, I feel like this is obvious. She said, to you, it looks like it's obvious, but to us, it's just like we are just looking at you, and you just.
Yeah. Yeah.
pouring this knowledge, and we don't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
so,
at the same time, I don't see myself as a very kind of wise kind of person.
I know what you mean. It's,
Yeah.
it's probably really a blessing to us that you don't, because you don't, like the closeness comes, right? So you're off the
Mm-hmm.
pedestal,
Mm-hmm.
and you not only help us to trust you more, it not only helps us feel closer to you,
Mm.
but it gives us more of a feeling of, oh, this is possible for me as well. Like, don't think of her as a god. Like, know that she just had the courage. And if she can do it, maybe I can do it too. So it gives us more possible. It does so much goodness for us that you don't see
Mm-hmm.
yourself that way. It's a
Mm-hmm.
real gift. It's a real
Mm,
gift.
mm, mm, mm,
And we're extremely grateful that
mhm,
you are the way that you are with towards yourself, because that then bleeds out into us and how you are with us.
mhm, mhm. And I also really, really admire being with Mark. And
Mm.
I don't know how many times we talk about this is such a blessing to be with each other.
Yeah.
It's like for me is like I really feel like how much I can open to him to share and to see myself. It's like it's amazing to grow that way. It's like so you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you need that kind of relationship. It's like, so otherwise we just don't talk about things, or we only talk about certain things. It's just I just love being with him because we can talk about anything,
Yeah.
anything.
That's beautiful. Yeah, we were just, I think Susan and I were just talking about Mark yesterday, and you guys open each other up so much. But she also said another thing that's really, really true, that is like he just loves us so much, so
Yeah.
much. And so even him opening to you, like he was never like, he's not like, no, my good preaching. He's like, no, no, no. It's like almost sharing more of you with us because he's with you, which is an unbelievably beautiful
Yeah.
quality of his.
Yeah. That's what he said to begin with.
Yeah.
He said, I really want you to take you out to everyone. This was his first kind of impression to thoughtful toward other the rest of the world, in a way, to the group, the world.
Mm.
He said, I don't want to possess you, but yes, the same time, whatever he goes through, but he just moving, he just learning. And I
Mm.
really amazed by his openness, in a way,
Mm.
that how much he's willing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. And that it really, really, really amazes me that I am able to experience that kind of level of relationship.
Yeah.
It's just to grow. It's amazing.
Yeah, you guys are really, it's like you're together, but rather than looking at each other, it's like you're side by side looking to them more
Yeah,
together.
yeah, 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 yeah. More we just like, even when more he goes into himself and more I go into myself, it's like the way we meet is like a rejoicing again.
Mm.
It's like it's like this rejoicing is always bringing the newness, and as I just mentioned before too,
Mhm.
to it's newness.
Yeah, it's a beautiful example to all of us, whether we're in relationships or not, about how to be in relationship, even with friends, with lovers,
Yeah,
with wives and husbands, with
yeah,
children, just like
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I saw that, like in the beginning, some people they kind of reacted toward this relationship. It was
mm,
kind of was I could understand for some people was unacceptable in many ways, their belief system, or or sometimes even fear. We don't want to lose Gurpreet or something. But even at the moment, I kind of trusted. I trust what I saw. I trusted afterwards. Start trusting him. At the same time, the universe, him, the universe. Is the trust always grow in this way?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. But again, I stepped into was unknown to me. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how we grow. We if we are just thinking I'm gonna step into because something about me,
Yeah.
it's unknown to me. I don't know where it's gonna take me.
Yeah. I remember in the very beginning, I was shaken by it too. I was just so shocked. I remember when you guys told me, I was sort of stunned. It's sort of outside of the society and what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've lived with it, and I think this is true for a lot of us, but as I've lived with it and seen how much it's opened me, and opened him, and opened
Yeah.
us,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a really great, it's actually a really great pointer to show me how the society has these rules. And on one level, the rules make sense and I see how they were formed, but on another level, they can be limiting. And there's different situations that live outside of those rules that can be so beautiful. And if we're stuck in those rules forever, we can cut ourselves off from so much beauty and growth.
Yeah. 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 It's just like it was just amazing. Everybody was in a way was in shock because it just happened and it just happened in a split second, right? I didn't have a time to think of it. I didn't have to think of what's wrong, what's right. It just happened. It just I saw that in the moment. It was so when I saw that, I cannot cover it, what I saw. I was unable to cover it. And then it's just already kind of happened and it's super fast.
Yeah.
But to me, it was a natural. Even it's unknown, I stepped into it. But the way it's happened already, it's just kind of natural. But to the society, to everybody, it was like,
Yeah. What?
yeah, it's just too fast without any thinking, without any processing.
Right.
Yeah.
So foreign to our intellect.
Yeah. But I really admire Mark in that way, like how he just entered, just as I entered, he just says yes.
He just jumped in.
He just he said he saw that, and it's like he couldn't deny that part, and yeah, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is unknown.
Yeah.
And that way our growth is like in that degree as well. If we are so programmed the way we are thinking, we need to think. I need to think twice before I took the step. Right? So this taking the step is based on, I don't want to be in the loss. I don't want to be wrong. So the result is same. We're going to stay in the same area. And the life can be look like this wise man is moving from one A to B, right? But is it higher? No.
Yeah, just learning more about the process of life or something. You get some worldly knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, as you're talking, I'm feeling a little bit of fear rise because it's like you're inviting me just to, I almost think of just like jumping out of an airplane kind of thing. You know,
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah, yeah.
that blind trust has never been a strong suit in my personality, as you probably know, as my friends know. I almost had a heart attack just moving to Canada after planning it for 4 years. But oh God. But it's yeah, it's really good to see that. Like, whoa, it's just even going into the story from this angle is sort of inviting me to like, where can I blindly trust?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Just that's what I always said. In the beginning, I used to call this trust, but now I see it's not even a word trust. It's like I just moved that way.
Yeah.
My foot already in there.
It's almost just like the flow,
Yeah,
the flow.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I love this group.
Mhm.
I just love it. And I feel like this is, as I said, it's not about me and Mark. It's just the group. And
Mhm.
now the group is also being embraced by his love, his
Mhm.
care,
Big time,
his, yeah.
big time. Yeah.
And yeah, it's helping him to grow. Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And we appreciate him so much. Like we all just, it's like there's like a fresh breeze in the group
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. 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 And you think I ever thought about having a relationship in my life?
Mhm.
Because I thought I don't need it.
Right, right,
Because
right.
each time something, even like, knocking at my door or something, and I'm standing straight.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, it's
Mhm.
okay. It's like even all the years what I earned, the straightness is so meaningful, but it wasn't according to my perception or thinking that I'm going to have a relationship with someone.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just happened. And then it happened and it just happened. Then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't think of it. Like I couldn't say, okay, how it's gonna look like, how people gonna embrace it, or my group, what about my people? And I saw everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good to just what you just said also. I mean, what I'm about to share is super duper obvious, of course, but still it's worth sharing. Back to the fear of trusting something new. It's like, here you are, recently moved away from your family, recently moved to this little town. You got a condo, you got a student body, and some ways it's growing. Other people, they don't get mad at you when they leave or whatever, whatever. So here you are with your group, and then you just drop this bomb. Like, guess what? I'm with Mark. It's like, what? You're like, that's a risk,
Hmm.
right? Like that takes freaking courage. And for you, it wasn't, I get that it wasn't like thinking, oh, what could I lose? What could I gain? You just went with it. But it takes so much courage not to write down the pros and cons, to think, to consider the delicate situation that you're in. You just follow, you just follow it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like, yes, in that, for example, the risk was like about my family, or my kids especially, or my group.
Yeah, all of them.
That was like the biggest one for me,
Mhm.
because I was giving so much to my group.
Mhm.
And I have very close relationship with my kids. It's like they're very harmonious way with me, like, and and we kind of flow with each other, kind of.
Mhm.
So that was only two things. It's like, but I already saw that, but I still had a little bit shakiness when I was sharing with my son first.
Mhm.
But the moment and I shared, it was just like, that's it. It's like in that moment, and I couldn't stop laughing with him.
Mhm.
And then that's it. I knew it's like I can't cover, I can't pretend, I cannot be different than what I am.
Mhm.
I am, yes. Yeah. I mean, this is the way we grow. This is the way I am growing. I am in this love all the time. And I love this more and more every day. Like as I open more love
Mhm.
for this higher.
Yeah, it seems that way,
Yeah, yeah.
which is kind of amazing because you dedicated your whole life to it, and then felt like you dedicated your life to us. So to even say you love it more is like, I didn't know there was a more, but we can all feel you keep
Yeah.
saying the excitement, the encouragement, the positivity. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's how the openings are. Every opening seems like that's it. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah. But when this something new opens, then he says, "Oh, okay. I thought that was all before." But then each time we forget about it, then each opening is like, "Wow, amazing."
Mhm.
Each opening, wow, amazing.
Never could have imagined, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The way becoming so finer and finer and finer. It's like it's endless. Like I keep saying this over
Mhm.
and over. It's this is an endless journey. I am sharing.
Mhm.
I am sharing my whole beingness to all of me, all of my people.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like I kind of opened up to it, for example, to this sharing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and I keep opening up to this sharing. I even remember, I think I was in Germany about a second time. Something really opened up inside of me. And there were new
Oh,
people over there and all that. And my tears were just flowing and flowing and flowing. And I was such a state. I was just speaking and speaking and it was flowing and flowing. I was I shifted,
mhm.
but I shifted at the middle of the retreat I was doing.
Yeah. I remember, I think Jackie or somebody was, I remember this. This was quite a couple of number of years ago, but I remember it was
Yeah.
like Preet had this crazy shift in Germany. I was like, what happened? You're like, I don't know, but
But I couldn't say, okay, that's it. I cannot, I want to stay in my room.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And I said, no, this is, people came for me. I better be there.
Wow. So you just went out there with your tears and you're shifting.
Yeah, if the tears were just like just flood broke inside of me, and I was just in such a beautiful state. It was like, it's like, how the Rumi write poems and stuff like that, and I was just like, I was in that state so beautifully,
Wow.
and the same time I was just naked in front of everyone. so so this is the way I am.
Mhm.
Yeah, of course, not very wise way, but yes, I'm open.
It's a beautiful invitation for all of us, just what you're sharing to like, how can I be more naked in front of the world, my friends,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's like it's nothing new from my very early times of this journey. This is how I was opening inside of me. Anything opens inside of me, and I always question myself, am I able to open front of this world the same way what I am opening inside of me? and I always move this way. Yes.
Wow, I've never asked myself that question before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like I don't know, 25 years ago, something like that. I remember I was asking question. It's like, so the sincerity always moved like yes. Maybe in the not very beginning, but then yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. It's very practical. It's not just like you meditate and then you come back. Like you go to the state and then you're back in the world. It's like no.
Naked.
Mm.
Yeah. Because anything comes, I didn't decided what I'm gonna talk to you about.
Mm.
I didn't want to talk about I wasn't even thinking to talk about what we were talking last night. But as
Right.
it came and it just flows. It just flows. It's so simple. And our living can be this simple.
Yeah, simple is an interesting and appropriate word for it because it's unadorned with preconceived notions and agendas. It's just is.
Yeah.
It's just the flow.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Sometimes I wish like the whole like a world can just learn this simplicity, to be in this harmony, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So if we are in a harmony, and then even so much is happening in our environment, planets, so much is happening, but if we are as a human being in harmony, we will be affected by what is happening from outside of us, but our harmony is going to expand even more, it's going to deepen even more.
Mhm.
But because of we are in opposite states, we are in the angry state, or the guilt, or all that resentment states, and then if something happens from outside of us, and that part accelerates, right? We can, as a human being, we have ability to live in a very harmonious way, simple way, very, very simple way. And in the simplicity, the higher knowledge is more and more available. That's what we call is like in if we are in a harmony, there is a higher knowledge in us.
Mhm. Yeah, this word living sort of in a simple way, this word simple is like coming into me right now in a deeper way than I think it's come before, or a different way maybe than it's come before. And I'm touched
Mhm.
by the
Yeah,
idea of living a simple life.
yeah, yeah. Because if inside of ourself is a simple, it's already connected with the higher level than personalness.
Mhm.
And you just see that like what we are earning, what you have been earning, it's making you simple person than before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The simpler you are, and there is a more harmony in you.
And so much more humility. Goodness. So
Yeah.
much more humility. Wow.
Yeah. You say what you said, goodness also,
So
you know.
much. Yeah, like it's weird. You would never connect the word simple and humble, but it's like they kiss each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like their
Mhm.
husband and wife kind of thing.
Yes, yes, yes. That's how we are just always in a marriage. It's like a new marriage all the time.
Mhm.
It's because this matches, it's just melt into each other.
Mhm. Yeah, like the humbleness just makes you so simple, and the simpleness makes you
Yeah,
so humble. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's lovely. I feel a deeper, simpler connection to you right now, and almost to the group. It's coming to me, going back to being betrayed by a friend or losing your job, all these things that hurt us so much. It's like they only hurt us because we don't believe in this flow. Like we really don't trust. Like if we really trust the flow, we don't know what's next. So how can we possibly say if
Yeah,
something's good or bad? Oh, I
yeah,
got betrayed. What does that
yeah,
mean? I don't know what it, you don't know what anything means if you're in the
yeah,
flow in the
yeah.
most beautiful way.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we always, as I said, we don't like to be in the loss.
Mhm.
It's so painful to lose any loved ones. So painful. But at the same time, the amount we can grow from that pain, there was so much goodness in it. But yes, but if we are able to use it, so same thing, anything, somebody hurt me, somebody lied to me, somebody this did this to me, somebody did that to me. It's like if we can really let ourselves be in that loss,
Mhm.
so heartful way, and then it's just there's a little flow.
Yeah, what's coming to me right now is maybe I'm looking at it too simply, but it just seems like when you're in the flow, truly in the flow, it's like there's no loss because you don't have anything. So it's like the loss hurts to the degree that you're not in the flow.
Hmm.
Even losing a dear one, and I'm not, I'm not trying to trivialize love and loving your parents or your children or your husband or wife. I'm not, but if you're really in the flow, it's just I feel like there is no such thing as loss or gain.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that loss, yes, if we bring it back, of course, and it brings us back into the flow that we then realized we were not in.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like yes. Sometimes it depends on the person's personal state, and it depends on how close that relation is,
Of course.
and that always is a measurement of the person. Like it's like how much is being touched, right? And that opens us up, and then slowly it goes into the same flow. Because then there was no separation. Because in the beginning, what the loss is the separation. I lost someone.
Mhm, mhm.
I lost my father or lost my mother. But if I see the flow is within me as a mother and a father, and I don't see the loss, and then there was a goodness in it.
Yeah, because the more you're in the flow, the less of you there even is to have a
Yeah,
mother and a father.
yeah, yeah. It's just like the moment we feeling the separation, we feel the loss.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So with anything, when the moment we are separate, we feel the loss.
And our ego is the opposite. When we bring something into ourselves, we feel like we're losing the otherness. We feel like we're losing the relation on the ego level, but on the impersonal level, we're actually gaining.
Yeah.
We're integrating.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's why your heart says yes and your brain says no so often when you're going deeper. And it's like,
yeah.
yeah, this is a great segue into something. One of the other questions that we never ever get to, because we usually get to one and then we're off to the races. But I'm actually remembering another thing that I think it's maybe a good time to share, which is because we're in this moment, we're sort of talking about the ego, how it views the flow, how it views relation with others, and then the impersonalness, the true heart, is like the opposite. The true heart brings everything in, and then the ego goes, "Where'd my father go? He's gone. No. He is you. You are him," kind of thing. So Friday, I think, in the last satsang, I was being with the nobodiness, and I felt, which was very good for somebody like me being in my head. I felt like my all the energy breath work we were doing. I felt my feet were like rooted to the earth, and then I felt that my feet were inside the earth, which I never felt before. And then it went to my legs, and by the end, it was my whole body, and it was like I'm inside the dirt and the soil and the earth, and it was beautiful, and it almost felt like I was buried, like I died and they buried me, kind of thing. But without a coffin, it was just my flesh like melting into. It was so beautiful, and I had this. I saw a picture for a moment of a dog dying or alive and then dead, and the dead was rigor mortis. It was like this dead frozen husk, this carcass of this, and there was of course no life in it, because we're just using these vehicles to walk around. We know this. And I saw the split in that moment of like my heart longing, begging to die, and the mind, which is attached to my physical form, terrified to like almost can't believe that this thing called Josh could have this consciousness and this personality and these feelings, and then gone. The mind just shudders and shakes, and the heart goes yes, and it does so different reactions. And I felt them both at the same time, and I was like, wow.
Wow, that's really amazing experience you have.
It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous, and good to see the fear too. Like good to see them both, and how different they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with it, but I'm just bringing it.
Yeah, it's just like the moment the fear appears, it's like this fear is not only in you. It's like everybody who's waking up, this fear arises. It doesn't matter, like degree can be different, like can be very shaky, can be a little bit shaky, right? But the fear comes because you are moving into the unknown. You don't know, your whole existence does not know what is this unknown, right? It does not know. And then the fear comes. So first we need to understand, don't need to be free from the fear first. Fear comes. It comes again and again. We need to understand it. It's going to come again and again. Yeah. So if we know that it's going to come again and again, it's like some degree we are relaxed already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the fear appears in, for example, the experience you were experiencing, the fear came, and now the fear is not shaking you. It's not disturbing the stillness, which is helping you to be in this experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your body can be relaxed. It's like your mind can be relaxed. It's not being shaken by this fear. And then that takes you off from this state, this present state, to this unknown state.
Mm.
And of course, the unknown state is higher than our personal state.
Yeah.
But we don't understand. We don't understand the higher state. It doesn't exist in this form. But at the same time, we know, okay, it's unknown. To me, it's unknown. There is in between this death and life, right? It's this unknown.
Yeah. And for me, what struck me so strongly is just when you're relating with the heart or the beyondness versus when you're relating with solidity, form, body, I, the experience is like night and day, complete different experiences. It just shows us how powerful what we're relating to, how powerfully what we're relating to can affect our perception. Like we're so powerful, we can affect our reality so greatly by just what we choose to relate to.
That's beautiful what you're saying. You see?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, wow, we're so, yeah, it's opening in me now. Like,
Yeah.
and we don't know that we can choose. We think we kind of trick ourselves into thinking we're like powerless. And back to Ralph betraying me. Okay, like Ralph betray. Okay, that's you're relating to it from an I, from an agenda. You don't believe in the flow. You think if you lose this friend or lose this money or lose this wife, that you're going to be ruined. You're afraid of death. All these things you're choosing to relate from are creating you feeling betrayed by Ralph. But those are all choices that you made. You can relate, and you can relate to the unknown. You can
Yeah.
relate to the surprises that life brings you, to the, whoa, what's
Yeah.
next for me? You can
Yeah.
relate to the question mark, the beautiful question mark that is living. And then Ralph betraying you is something completely altogether different.
Because the loss brings the newness.
Mhm.
And most of us, it's like we are so afraid to consciously lose something.
Yeah.
But this is the time when you're afraid to lose something, you consciously lose that within you.
Mhm.
This is the time. I just remember Ramana Maharishi, and somebody said in the very young age of his, and then somebody said to him, "You're gonna die. You're gonna die soon," or something,
Oh.
And then he took it in, and then he said, "Wow, I actually like to see my death."
Mm.
I just always love his word. I don't know which way I read it, or somebody told me about him, or something like that. But
Mm.
I just really admire that. I want to see my death.
Mm. Yeah.
This is what you were talking about,
Yeah.
your experience.
Yes. It's touching me. I'm like, wow, I'm not fully there, but I'm partially there. It's like there is a beauty. There is like and a beautiful childlike curiosity. I'm like, yeah, what's that like? Like,
yeah. So if I can see my death, it's like I just broke that blind spot, was blinding me.
mm,
Right?
mm, mm,
Something is blinding me between life and death.
mm,
What is after death? What is there? What is, like, we think something is different, right? But if we just broke that hurdle, this blindness, like we just moved through it,
mm,
it's a vastness.
mm.
It's
Yeah.
before we are just only living from A to B point,
Mhm.
because we don't know what is after the B point. I don't know.
Yeah. So we make a big difference between the two.
Yeah.
But as you're sharing right now in this moment, I'm almost feeling like if you're really, really part of the flow, the more in the flow you are, the less of a big deal the death is because you're just still in the flow.
Exactly, because you are more than your death.
Mhm.
It's not only physical death, it's like every loss is like a death.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we easily closing our eyes before the death comes. We just, in that moment, it's like our eyes are closed.
Because we don't want to see.
Because it's like a person doesn't want to see it, doesn't,
Mhm.
because it's just like a fear, for example.
Mhm.
In the fear, the person is really rolling. Unknown person is really rolling.
Yeah.
So we really need to earn this state where we just, it's like if our whole life we are just moving through the losses so openly now, slowly,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna be open when we're shedding our body as well, the real body, right?
Yeah.
So this is, we already keep on earning, keep on earning. The fear of death is like we already experiencing even physical death,
Mhm.
right? We constantly experiencing that. Oh, okay, I hope this doesn't happen. But if we are kissing this death again and again, so it need to become the joy of our life. It's like a
Mhm.
death. Yeah.
Yeah, it just keeps coming. God, it keeps coming back to me that, and I know it sounds like simplistic, and maybe I'm being dismissive. If I am, you can guide me. But it's almost feels like when you're really in the flow, you're open to newness at every single second. There's no such thing as even loss. Like you've been married for 35 years, and your husband dies. From the earthly perspective, that's a huge shock and a loss. But when you're in the flow, and if you're open to that happening at every second, if you're open to yourself dying at every second, you don't really own anything and you don't really lose anything. It's just, I mean, I understand who's there, not me, but it just seems like the more you're in the flow, the less that the word loss even exists.
Mm-hmm,
What does
mm-hmm.
that word even mean?
Yeah. So slowly, how to maintain that flow though?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's what I'm just right now, like this whole retreat, what is going on is to accelerate this energy, accelerate this flow.
Mhm.
So we are more and more in this. It's like, so we maintain the flow a little bit longer than before.
Mhm. Mhm.
Otherwise, the flow is for a little bit and then it's gone again. So how we can just maintain it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That connects. That was another question I was going to ask you, sort of like bigger picture, what's happening, what is this change? But that explains it really, really well,
Yeah, yeah.
very simply.
Yeah, yeah. Because more, it's like I know many people, they're probably moving through this discomfort or all that. And I keep reminding it's okay. We need to move through this discomfort if we want to grow. And but also it's raising our energy. Not only energy in a dense level energy, it's like it's much finer level as well.
Mhm.
We as a group, we experience something, and I see that there are moments like the whole group is in it. The moment again, whole group is in it.
Mhm.
So it's just like these happenings are much accelerated already because years work. It's not just something all of a sudden it happened or happening.
Mhm.
Yeah. So more we are in this willingness to excitement, joining regardless where it's going to take me, what it's going to look like, I just be in the excitement.
Mhm. It's funny I'm just remembering something else that happened yesterday, like, because you're talking about the group and we need each other. And yesterday, Joel told me that the Thich Nhat Hanh, however you pronounce his name, the awakened teacher who died, he died within a couple of years ago. He was this really wise teacher. And he said, I'm going to mess this up, but he said something like, the next level, the next level for us is not going to be somebody waking up to a higher level. It's going to be a group of people waking up together. And I was just so like excited by that. Of course, thought of us, not in the way, oh, it's going to be us, not like that, but just where you're guiding us to. And it was like seeing the group as like one organism.
Mhm,
And it's like,
mhm.
I have qualities, Joel has qualities, whoever, everybody has qualities, but together we have so many qualities as
Yeah,
as an organism.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's so meaningful. It's so meaningful. It's like even the way I am being with the people now, the people are growing. I am people growing. It
Mhm.
just keep on happening such a, I feel like enormous way. Because the
Mhm.
way I see that, it's really, it's not about the number of people we have. It's just the amount is this growth is. It's just
Yeah.
like I don't know any other word about it, but how it's affecting us, the universe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I used to see this from years. Anybody's opening was just like, wow, is giving something back to the universe. And
Mhm.
now it's much accelerated as a group now, not in individuals.
Wow.
Yeah, and individual is actually opening up as well. It's like you see that every connection, how fast, how,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like a person opening, sort of showering back onto the group, but I never took it so much so far into like the world, the universe. I mean, in some philosophical way, but not in a seeing way.
Yeah, it's a happening. It's just a happening. It is happening. It's like a, it's like a this, it's like a this flow, the way it's showering is showering.
Mhm,
It's a
mhm.
happening. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, I love this invitation and this conversation of just being more with the flow. And
Mhm.
this possibility of when you, if you can be aware of when you're less in it, do some breathing exercises that you taught us to get back in it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of sort of reconnects with, like, the more of the flow you can connect with, the more your life's going to go in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the people also need to understand when we are talking about the flow, it's like we don't expect to be in the flow. We just expect to be, it's just like that we need to go there. For first is like we need to decide we need to be there,
There
right?
means in the flow, you mean?
And in the room, in the presence, in the satsang
Oh,
room, like,
oh,
you know,
yes, 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 yes,
because
yes.
physically we need to be present. And even though the people are connecting through the internet and through the Zoom is fine as well.
Mhm,
It's also helpful. And I hear the very positive ways
mhm.
the how much is helping people. But yes, whoever can, it's like, but just stay in the joining. It's like
Yeah,
whichever way the person can join, it's like don't miss it.
yeah, and I can share a little bit from my side too, as a student and a participant, to just
Hmm.
for a moment to expand on that. Like um I I love both personally because it's two different angles, and I shared this with you at some point, how being in the group and then also being in Zoom, because sometimes when you're alone and on the Zoom, you can open in a different way than when you're in the group. But I
Hmm.
can definitely say that there are times in the group where I just feel this unbelievable energy that is almost so much bigger than me, because I'm in a room with people who, pretty open people who all have the same intention to open
Hmm.
for themselves, of course, but for each other and with each other. It's pretty powerful to experience.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
something would definitely be lost if we weren't meeting in person as well as on Zoom.
Yeah.
So I'm really,
Yeah.
just to back up what you're saying from a participant's point of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah. That's beautiful for me to even hear, yeah, different
Mhm,
experiences, how
mhm,
people are experiencing, how it's affecting.
mhm,
And yes, even people in different countries sitting and the way it's affecting them, to me is
mhm,
very, very meaningful. It is affecting though.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And even though people, the amount of people in the physical way being together is affecting others,
Yeah,
because you see
yeah.
that even in the Zoom connection, one to one is happening, right?
Mhm.
But in a way it's helping others as well. But
Yes,
the way this group is helping others is bigger.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you.
Thank you as always.
Mm.
Lovely conversation.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. And thank you all of you for joining this conversation. Thank you, Mark.